As far as Nintendo franchises go, Pikmin is one of the most creative, weird, and consistent. I mean, maybe it's consistent because there's only 3 fucking games, but still. It's also one of the most slept on. It's a very special series to me. When I was a kid, me and my brother went to Blockbuster. Yeah, I know. And we were walking through the game aisle, and I wanted to get a new game for my little GameCube. And I look at the shelf, and I point, like the guy from Invasion of the Body Snatchers, at this game that has a lobster and a bunch of plant people and a couple weird fucking aliens. And I pick it up, go home, play it, fall in love, go home every day after school for like a month and play it for like hours, just trying to beat it. Because this is Pikmin 2, and it is a very hard game. I finally beat it, so satisfying, one of the biggest challenges, one of my first, like, overcome gaming challenges. Obviously, this is the second one, so I go out and find the first one, play it, fall in love, beat it, and then every single day, I go downstairs from my bedroom, and I'm like, Mommy, when is Pikmin 3 coming out? When I was a kid, I was not savvy to the internet or trailers, so no release dates. I just kind of assumed that games spontaneously appeared in stores and Blockbusters. Naturally, my mom would turn towards me and she'd be like, "Oh, sweetie," and clock me upside the fucking head and be like, "Pikmin 3 is not out yet. It will not come out for 6 fucking years." 6 years later, 14 years old, freshman year, come home from school, E3 2012, I think? And I'm like, oh fuck, new Wii U console, what are they announcing? Pikmin 3, after fucking years, dude. God, I was so fucking pumped. This series, I love the gameplay, I love the cute stories, I love the designs, I love the environments. I just love these fucking games. And I don't know a single person personally who has played them. And honestly, I'm just through associating with these slack-jawed, slobbering, knuckle-dragging oafs who wouldn't know a good game if it wriggled inside of their pre-developed dinosaur ear holes. These drooling, dead-eyed, toothless, weak-kneed, lazy, low testosterone, low estrogen, bald, and bony clowns, dude. Anyway, you should play them. And here's a ranking of the 3 games that are in this near 20-year-old series. This series is 2 years older than Call of Duty. Brrr. 6 years older than Assassin's Creed. Brrr. How the fuck does Kingdom fucking stupid-ass Hearts have more games? This plot was dead the second Tetsuya Nomura pressed his pudgy little finger down on the fucking nonsense button on his keyboard. God! Alright, number 3. Pikmin. It's the first, it's nostalgic, it's kind of dated. It doesn't look too great now. The textures are, let's just say it, shit. Controls aren't spectacular, even for the Wii version. It is not a totally polished gameplay experience. The Pikmin AI is actually just stupid. But there's still so much to love. A lot of what makes this game stand out from the rest is its atmosphere. It's super, like, surreal and quiet and serene. And I think they capture the feeling of this wild alien nature so damn well. Enemies are fucking strange without being grotesque and without jetting out from their environments. This is supposed to be a weird post-apocalyptic Earth, yet these strange mutations on known creatures still feel alien. Also, the surrounding events are actually kind of dark. Olimar will genuinely fucking die if you don't get the ship parts fast enough. This gives the time limit actual stakes, even if it's pretty hard not to get the parts on time, even during your first playthrough. It feels lonely and desolate while still being a silly Nintendo game. Even if the gameplay is a little clunky nowadays, it's a fun, unique game that is absolutely worth a play. Okay, number 2. Number fucking 2. I can't really choose between 2 and 3, dude. 2 and 3 are both just great. They are both great for their own reasons, and everything that's not as great in one of them is better in the other. But I gotta put 3 here. It is an excellent game. It's one of my favorite looking Nintendo games, even if some of the textures are a bit stinky by today's standards. The camera focuses on the player or the enemies or what have you while blurring the surroundings, accentuating the feeling of this little tiny explorer in a big, big world. Pikmin 1 and 2 already showed off what the GameCube could do, and I've always felt the same about 3 and the Wii U. The gameplay is polished to a sheen. Pikmin follow directly behind the captain now, so they will not normally fall off without you telling them to. Rather than having to wait for Pikmin to line up directly behind the captain in order to throw a specific type, they'll like teleport to you, no matter where they are in the group. That way you know which type you'll be throwing next. The lock-on also disperses any questions that may have been present in the last 2, like, will my Pikmin actually land directly on top of this enemy? Or am I actually going to be able to reach this guy in the air from where I'm standing?
It's bloody brilliant, it is.
The addition of a third captain, plus the go here command, pretty much slurps the most potential out of the multitasking real-time strategy elements. The levels are so well designed for this, while also still feeling like lived-in alien worlds. What I think puts 3 below 2, though, is the difficulty. It is way too forgiving. In 1 and 2, enemies can completely devour, smoosh, or just instantly annihilate your entire army in a matter of seconds. In 3, Bulborbs eat like 3 in 1 bite. Not too big a deal. Flying Pikmin kind of busts the game. As cool as it is in the first playthrough, it doesn't feel that great to waltz up to a puzzle leading to a new piece of fruit, then realize that you could just lock on to the piece of fruit and send the flying Pikmin up to it without having to do anything else. I honestly can't tell if this was intentional or not. I don't know. Probably fucking not. Nintendo is not one to just allow players to surpass a puzzle they've worked hard to create. Regardless of the difficulty, though, you should absolutely play Pikmin 3. It is an excellent game. One that I will always come back to. Definitely in the top 3 Wii U games, and soon to be up there in the Switch's catalog, too. Number 1, baby. Number fucking 1, baby. Number 1. It's Pikmin 2. What an awesome game. Pikmin 3 is a callback and an objective improvement on the first game, but 2 is its own crazy experiment. You still run around these serene overworlds, micromanaging your team and snorfing out treasure, but then there's the caves, which are like more linear dungeons based around whatever theme, ended by a usually tough as shit boss. And then instead of getting new Pikmin and onions like you might expect from the second game in the series, you sacrifice your guys to these flowers, only found in the dungeons, that transform them into the 2 new types, white and purple. Whites are cool. Don't take that out of context, and have a lot of uses. They can one super fast, they can survive poison, they have X-ray vision, they just sound like real-life white people. They're just a nice compliment to the rest of the Pikmin types. But then there's the perps, dog. My big old fat boys. It's like there's red Pikmin who are resistant to fire, yellow who are resistant to electricity, blue resistant to water, whites and poison, purples, bat. They're 10 times stronger than other Pikmin. They are slowmen because they're plump, wonderful fatties and proud of it. They absolutely destroy enemies with their overwhelming girth. And trust me, you are going to need that shit. The entire game, and especially the caves, are sometimes hope-squashingly difficult. Bombs randomly spawning from the ceiling. New enemy types with just straight up fucking guns and shit. Bosses that can wipe out your entire team if you're not careful. Electricity? And all of this unforgiving difficulty surrounds a goofy little story about collecting treasure. Yeah, in the first game you're like, I've been stranded on this alien planet for 10 days. I'm going to die real soon. I need to collect ship parts so I can see my family. And then in 2, Olimar makes it home. The ship you just spent the entire last game rebuilding gets impounded. And your boss is like, fuck you. Fuck your family. We need money. So go back to this desolate planet and continue your enslavement of this entire species. It's dope. Each one of the 3 Pikmin games is great for different reasons. You should play them all. Please. Maybe if more people play them, Nintendo will make Pikmin more of a priority. Please. I didn't mean it when I said that you were all shriveled up husks of something that may have once resembled intelligent life, but is now devoid of even a spark of humanity and independent thought. Or whatever I said. And hey! Pikmin 3 is getting ported to Switch with new difficulty options. If this adds a hard mode, then Pikmin 3 will just objectively become the best in the series. It'll probably be $60 because Nintendo is feeling real fucking high on their own exhaust right now. I mean, fuck. Funky Kong ain't even in it. But I promise it's worth it. Beating this game has become a yearly tradition for me. It's just that good. Like, play it. Please. I didn't mean it when I called you a droopy-tittied ape who auto-fillets until their throat is sticky with... Oh yeah,